are two occasions that really stand out to me during the course of my short teaching career. They are not times where I had amazing teaching moments. These are not times when my students surpassed my expectations on state exams. The two occasions that stick out in my mind are ones where I've reacted in the worst of ways. One morning I was standing up in front of my classroom trying to engage my students in a discussion about the differences between West Egg and East Egg in The Great Gatsby. I could not get my eyes off of one of my female students. She was sleeping in the back corner of the room for most of the period. I was very frustrated with her because I did not understand why she would be so disrespectful. She was supposed to be one of my better students. She was a leader in the school building. Upon impulse and without thinking clearly, I scolded her. "Get your head off your desk now!" She peeled her head off her desk slowly. She and I exchanged a few words, and I knew she left the room feeling resentment towards me. Little did I know this student was struggling with a battle far beyond what I could imagine. Her parents were going through a divorce, and she had been resorting to physical violence. The medicine she was on to cope with her feelings left her feeling lethargic and fatigued. I reacted without taking time to understand what was going on with the student, and it was a moment that I regret. Rather than feeling supported by me, she felt attacked. On another occasion the following year, we were reading a chapter from The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. It was sixth period right after lunch, and many of my students were not engaged or interested in the reading. This was the case on most days with this particular class, and I was fuming on the inside. I kept thinking to myself, I am about to get these students with a reading quiz. They will learn to pay attention in my class. After we finished the chapter, I popped them with a reading quiz. One boy in the third row began to complain. He said that he didn't know what was going on in the book. I told him, in a condescending and aggressive tone, he should have at least had his book open if he expected to get anything out of it. He mouthed off a few more remarks, and I was ready to send him up to the principal's office. The bell rang, and instead of leaving, he stayed in my classroom. This shocked me because if he wanted a chance to survive being written up, he should have fled from my side. However, he came up to me with tears in his eyes and apologized for his behavior and outbursts. He said he had court this week to see if his parents would regain custody of him. He had been living in the local boys' home for a few months, and this had been the only thing on his mind. He said he would try better tomorrow. Immediately, I felt remorse for the way I had reacted to him. In the 2 short years that I've been teaching, I've learned a lot about myself and others. I've learned that students are facing battles every single day that I know nothing about. There are some days that they come in tired, and my lesson on The Great Gatsby and The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn are not the only thing on their mind. I'm not making excuses for students, as I believe in having high expectations for all students. However, I've learned that it is important to take time to wait before I react impulsively when students aren't exhibiting appropriate behavior. Waiting before reacting to negative situations is extremely valuable, as students are facing battles that are hidden beneath weary eyes and fatigued bodies. Sometimes just checking in on the student will go further than any redirection or repercussion ever will.